I was in Germany, 20 years old. I had a year left, and I walked into this, it's like a castle in the woods. When I turned around and saw her, all my plans I knew were out the window.
Well,
In church.
naturally, we met in church. We met in the pastor's office. I was on vicarage at the time, and she was a member of the altar guild, I think. I guess I asked the pastor, now, who was that? And so he said, well, that's Connie. But of course, his wife had already picked us out.
We met in junior high school, and then we went on to high school.
We were high school sweethearts. We met in high school, and then also we were neighbors.
We lived in Corpus Christi.
Party, the Watermill party. There sat this attractive lady there, and it turned out that was Sophie. I didn't get around to calling her, though, for a follow-up until sometime in the summer of 1960.
Took a lot of courage.
And I always said, well, she had to work her way to the top of the list.
Here we were, about 2,000 miles away from each other, and I fell in love with her right from the very beginning.
I fell in love with you too.
Yes, it was kind of mutual.
I was a student at University of Texas, and Helen was teaching at St. John's Lutheran Church at Lincoln, and that was my home church. And I had met her once in Austin. Before that, we were on a double date. She was with the other guy because he had the car.
I said, willst du mich verheiraten? That means, will you marry me in German? He said yes, and from there the paperwork started.
Yeah, that's what him getting permission from the military.
Well, it took place historically in the same way as John Wesley.
He said, I just want you to know that if I get married, you'll be the one. And I set the date.
I graduated in '58, and 2 years after that, we went to eat at the Manhattan. There's a restaurant on Congress Avenue. I proposed it.
And somebody said yes.
And I hear a voice, yes.
He said, we're going to get married. I said, okay. So we start getting ready for that, but not a formal proposal. But
I had been in the military for about a year, and then I came home, and that's when I proposed to her on leave.
He sat there on the couch and kind of blurted it out, will you marry me? And I think, what was your response?
Oh, I don't know, the answer was affirmative.
Ours was a long courtship. I come from New York, and her dad was very strict on who dated her. So I had to prove that I was worthy of this lovely woman.
I really don't remember, but I think I just asked her, and then I had to ask her parents.
In those days, you married earlier. In May, it'll be 63 years.
He went through all of that. The rest of it was, like eating cake. Well, I never thought about divorce in the first place. That's something that,
Me neither.
better or worse, meant for better or worse.
God's
Well,
love and ours.
you can say, yes, God's love and ours. Good communication, good willingness to talk things out. Sometimes have evening devotions that run till 9 o'clock.
Christ has been in our lives a cornerstone of our marriage. With Christ with us, who can be against us?
When I met Joe, I knew that going to church was a very important thing for him, and so that's when I decided that I wanted to be part of that too. And we tell each other that we love each other.
Be patient with each other. If we get mad or something, we just try to not let it get to us. I think that's about the
I
only
think
way.
communication too has something to do.
Communication is very important.
And one thing we do like to do is dance.
We're both Lutheran. It's essential that you have unity of faith.
You have to do a lot of giving and forgiving, and it's not always a bed of roses every day.
We always figured God was right there beside us.
That's a big promise when you tell God that you're marrying this person for the rest of your life. And we have kept that promise for 64 years.
To find a church that you both love and that you bring your children up in that.
Main thing is we try never to go to sleep if we have a difference of opinion on anything. Always been very active in church, had wonderful friends.
We moved around quite a bit. And one of the first things we always did was find a church that we would go to. And that really, I think, was the center of we stayed focused.
For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let man not separate.